Acciones en las películas, las coreografías, los movimientos, la realidad que existe también dentro del mundo del espectáculo, los artistas marciales, del tatami a la pantalla grande. Todo esto y la vida de los dobles y los actores en la acción hoy aquí en este podcast. Bien amigos, bienvenidos nuevamente y tengo el honor de presentarles a uno de los que está surgiendo a través de la pantalla grande como actor y también ya habiendo trabajado hace bastante como doble de acción y viniendo por supuesto del mundo de las artes marciales, a quien en este momento está en Toronto y lo vamos a saludar, vamos a hablar en inglés y pueden poner los subtítulos ahí en YouTube que fácilmente los puede ir traduciendo. So I'm gonna be welcome to Taz Garcia, actor and stunt. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Thanks for having me here.
Very good. It's a really honor to have you here. Since I watched Richard, you know, but I've been following you. We've been following each other from before. But since I saw you there, you know, I got really happy about that. And I say, okay, well, we need to talk. You know, we need to have a conversation on things about this because this is a new world for the movie industry. In fact, you know, Stunts will be with nominations soon. So I think it's good, you know, topic now to chat. So tell us about who is exactly, because in this part of the world, you know, everything is new. So Taz Garcia, you know, show yourself how martial artist, how actor, as a stand, how you describe yourself best.
Ooh, this is a very complicated description. I started off traveling around the world playing professional sports in football or soccer, as some of the North Americans are familiar with it. That was kind of my dream
You've been in
to
the
be
Manchester, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly it. You know, that's right. So that was kind of my dream to be a football player or footballer. I played with the Manchester United junior squad.
yeah.
And that was kind of the dream. I had the contract in my hand, and I decided that was going to be what I was going to do. Unfortunately, my dad said, "Nope, I'm not going to sign the contract. What happens if you get hurt? Nope, go back to school." And not long after that, Cristiano Ronaldo came out, right? So it's what's and by the way, you probably heard it here first. Where if Cristiano Ronaldo ever gets in a movie, you heard it here first. We
Yes.
had this conversation where he said, you know, if soccer or football didn't work for him, he was going to become an actor. That was his backup plan. But I think now that he's about one year younger than I am, then you know, as the football maybe starts to slow or he explores other careers. I know he started a YouTube video. Maybe he's gonna get into acting, the film industry. But that was kind of the dream for me, is to perform, but also as a young kid, when I was following my dad, he was living in the Gulf, and there was a big war with two parts, unfortunately, known as the Gulf War.
Okay.
And that's when I started to say, okay, I wanted to do something that was part distracting, part hope, part communication, entertainment, all fused into one. And that's when I started to perform and sing and dance and do whatever I could from the
But
movies.
how about the martial arts? How did you start with that? How old were you?
Yeah. So that was kind of the foundation, really. Just at that time, you know, there's a movie Rambo or
Mm.
Rocky or Karate Kid or
Yes,
the
yes,
early 80s, right? You see these things and you start imitating.
exactly.
And during this time, obviously, you can't really take classes because it's a very hard time.
Exactly.
Luckily, when everything was pushed aside, you know, I was maybe around 8 or 9, and I told my parents, please, can I get into martial arts now? And they said no. Like, nope, you cannot. And I said, why? They're like, because if you learn this, you have a lot of energy. You're probably going to go and just punch and kick your classmates in school, and then you're going to get in trouble. No. And I said, come on, please. Until one of my friends got bullied
Mhm.
in during a lunch period, and I backed him up based on the moves that I remember from cartoons, Ninja Turtles, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, whatever I can remember, put them all together. Somehow it worked. I saved my friend, and I went back and I told them the story. I sat them down, almost like a business deal. My mom, my dad. I said, "Listen, guys, this is what happened. Can I please do martial arts?" And I put a little kata, unofficial kata for them in the living room. Uh, Not a real one, just from whatever I put together. And they said, "Okay, we see how passionate you are, what you did for your friend. That's a great thing. So here's the deal. You can practice martial arts, but the day we hear you are in trouble because of martial arts, you kick someone in
Out.
the head, you punch someone in the head, you
You're
stop.
out.
Game over." And I have not stopped for over 30 years now,
That's good. And how
right?
about
And
about the acting? Because there's two things. You also a good performer. I saw you in a few things, and you actually can perform because it's not something easy to find in the people that does stunt. So, but
yes, yes, yes.
you have some sources
It,
here.
so that was kind of the foundation, getting into the martial arts, and then I loved performing. I wanted to get into acting, and I started doing acting.
Okay.
And for me, it was always two paths. Martial arts was one thing, acting was one thing, and they were always side by side until early 2000 when the first time they merged. My foundation was in comedy and drama. I never thought, oh, action, action. What I did in kumite and martial arts and karate class time, that was outside of acting. And then I got an audition for the Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
And that's what changed my life. That's what changed me and got me into action, because I got the audition. To this day, I still have the script. They said, "Taz, you're great. You look a little too young to be this color ranger, but you're going to be the Black Ranger." Gave me the contract, gave me the script, everything good. They had my passport to give me the work permit so I can go and film in New Zealand. I went to pick it up, and they said, "Unfortunately, you're not black enough. We have to use somebody who's
Yes, yes,
African American or black."
yes,
And that's the time I realized Red Ranger was half native, yellow was Asian, black was a black. Like, the
yes,
Power Rangers were color codes, basically.
yes.
Obviously, it was a very big rejection. It was a very big disappointment. And it was a great test to see if, this will make or break
Oh,
me. But also, they took me to the side and said, "Listen, we know you do comedy and drama, but how you moved in this audition is something not a lot of people can do. Most people
right.
can fight and not act, or act
Exactly.
and not fight.
Yeah, that's the one to talk
Consider,
about because meaning when you fight, you have to fight for a purpose. Okay, I mean
right,
it's
right.
not just a fight. I mean, what you fighting for?
Yes,
Okay, so
that's
it's
right.
very important that you act on that part.
That's right. 100%. I coach action for film classes now, and I always tell them this is the best way of storytelling. It's physical storytelling, because if you have a movie in Spanish or Hindi or Arabic or Turkish, and the dubbing happens, sometimes the message or the joke is not the same in a different language.
Right.
But action, you can have no volume and you still understand they're fighting because revenge, upset, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So it's such a beautiful universal language, action,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And that was kind of the first time. It was because of that audition, and they're like, "Consider doing more action while your body is still young. Until your body gets old, you can't do that anymore. Then you can go and become,
Sure.
just a dialogue guy." And ding,
For example,
lights and
and then this and Richer, okay, which
yes,
is on Amazon Prime, I believe,
that's right.
that you can watch there. This third season that you appear on, is, I believe people is the one like the most, the third season. Um, you act there as a bully, right? You are as a
Yep,
bully,
yep, yep, yep,
and
yep.
and then you have your part, okay, and you have your action. So and I think that's part where you're acting, not just stunt, right?
That's right. That's right. And funny enough, before that part, I was given another part with more lines and only maybe one or two hits. And
Okay,
then that's when the union went on strike. And then there was lots of
sure,
adjustment. The scene I was originally in with more acting and less action was canceled.
right.
And then they said, "Listen, we're going to use you either way." And they said, "Listen, you're going to fight Alan, aka Reacher." I was like, "Perfect.
Yes, yes.
Let's go. I
Okay.
don't care about the lines.
So tell us
This is
about
great.
tell us about that experience. Let's see.
Woo, it was.
It's a big guy, eh?
Let's.
Big guy, huge.
Uh, yeah, he is. It's pretty fun, and I mean, I'm always very grateful when I'm involved in a project and work with somebody who is at that caliber of their acting and career. And when it came to Reacher, we did our rehearsals, everything was good. There was a few very last minute shifts that had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be doing a different kind of action. Some unforeseen circumstances happened, and then they said, "Oh, who can do this?" And I said, "Okay, well, I guess I could do it." But the main issue is we already did the wardrobe fitting, meaning even if I'm going to wear any kind of protection, because this maybe I'm taking the hit in the chest or anything like that, now I can't because the wardrobe is already locked and we're going to be filming the next day.
Oh.
Right? So
Just
if
like
I'm
that.
going to get kicked in the leg, I they gave me long pants instead of shorts, for example, so I can wear a pad or anything
Right.
extra protection.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're like, Taz, you're going to get hit in the chest. And everyone looked at me. They said, "Oh, are you okay with that? What's going to happen?" And I totally forgot I have a shirt that's open with a zipper.
Oh.
Right? So if you go back and you see it, so the zipper, every time he punched, it was that zipper into my skin, into my bone, plus this knuckle of his in my sternum right here.
And I guess
And obviously,
it wasn't just one shot. Had to be too many.
film is never the one shot, right? Unless they only have one expensive car that will be blown up. It's never one shot, right? Oh, one from here, one from there,
Oh,
one from
yes.
here. Do it again. 2 people, 3 people.
Yes, yes.
And obviously it's very normal that during rehearsal it's one speed, and then when you're on the day, the adrenaline is like all this power, and then you hear rolling action, so it's like
Yeah.
right? And you see it after the first one, he got even more excited and he's like, "Okay, Taz, I'm gonna do this a little da 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 da." And the excitement carried, and sometimes even if we did everything right, the camera misses it, right? Because the camera's like, "Oh, I was here, but I get punched there." So too slow. By the time here, I'm already on the ground.
Sure.
Can we go again? One more time.
Yes,
Right?
I guess you consider this one of the most important jobs, or perhaps the one you did with Jackie Chan, maybe?
Yeah, I feel, see, here's the thing. The Jackie Chan one to me in my heart was bigger, but for the North American audience, Reacher is bigger,
Okay.
right? Plus also the one that I did, that has another story with Jackie Chan as well. There was a lot of, it was very quick cuts. There was some faces covered, so you can't really tell, "Oh, this is Taz, this is Ben, this is Michael, this is Alberto." You can't,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it happens very fast. There's so many people, they look the same. Whereas this, you see us, we come out, I say like a couple of words, the other guy says a couple of words, and then we get into the fight. You see that, and so there's a lot more. Plus, for this one, I would, they love the scene because season 1 action was great. Season 2 action they didn't like too much, and then season 3 action, we were probably going to be the first big fight in the season to show them that the action is different
I see.
than season 2. It's better and bigger and badder than the first and the second put together. So that was a lot of weight and responsibility for us and the team that designed it. And I was very honored and happy to be there. And I was all over because Amazon just used that still, him holding me, on their social media
Yeah.
and their everything. It was just, you see that guy in the ugly shirt and that's you, that's you. Even though it's a little bit profile, you don't really see my face, but everyone knew that was me, that was me, that was me. So there's a lot more eyes that came on me from that side, from the Reacher side versus the Jackie Chan one.
Okay. And so how is it work with Jackie Chan?
Beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's, so many times you work or you hear, don't meet your idols, don't meet the people you love or admire, because you see them on a screen, you fall in love with this character, and then you see them off screen and sometimes it's not the same, right? With Jackie, it was 100% the same, if not more. It took care of you, talks to you, feeds you. You see the kind of guy he is when it, for example, if you're on a Hollywood set, like, you open up a bottle of water, you leave it here, you go film, come back. "Oh, which one's mine? I don't remember. Just take a new one." With him, he writes a number to make sure, hey, number 12. you. Number two, this
That's
is
good.
you.
That's good.
We were filming in the desert, so he has a cooler, like going to the beach to keep everything cold and ice. When the ice melts, he takes that himself. He can just put one finger, 50 people. Yes, big
Mhm.
brother, what do you need? I will help you. What do you need? Yeah. Whatever he asks, they will get him. But he's the guy picking it up, emptying the melted ice that's now water
Yeah.
into, another one so we can use it to wash our hands before we eat in the desert. He's doing that. It's raining. He's the first
That's
guy jumping on the chair. Doesn't matter who you are. Hey, you grab that side, to
good.
cover everything so it doesn't get wet,
Amazing.
right? That's the kind of guy he is.
Sure, sure. It's a big guy, big guy. It's a big person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but he doesn't need to be. That's the thing. He doesn't need to be. People
humble.
know
It's
who he
humble.
is
It's humble.
anywhere around the world.
Humble.
But the reason why he's still up there because he works the same way. He
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some people get to the top and they're like, okay, I don't need to work anymore.
Sure, 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 sure. Let's talk about the stunt life now. Let's say how difficult is to become a stunt, or which different type of stunts or you are.
I mean, that's a loaded question. So I will break it down into different pieces. For example, if someone wants to get into stunts, usually the more you know, the better. For example, if you know how to do stuff with cars, how to do stuff with fire, how to do stuff with martial arts, how to do stuff with falls, these are all different kinds of stunts, right?
Mhm.
Just because you do martial arts doesn't necessarily mean you know how to drive
Right.
or how to do the fire stunts,
Exactly.
right? So the more you know, the more value you have and the more jobs you would be presented.
Hmm.
That's one. So for me, I try and have as many options as possible, right? Because sometimes there's no martial arts, but maybe it's going to be a burn or maybe a fall from a roof. There's no
Right.
martial arts,
Right.
right? So it depends. Or get hit by a car, for example, right? You could be a great fighter, but you don't know how to take a hit and fall proper without hurting yourself.
Exactly.
So that's kind of one way, right? This is one way. The other side is you have people that specialize. They're like, I just do fighting, I just do fire, I don't want to do anything else. Or they do these really cool moves with the cars, sideways, reverse, 180, 360, sideways, and that's it. They don't fight, they don't use guns, they don't do fire. That's it,
Hmm.
right? So you could also find a specialty. And the biggest thing is you will need to train and you will need to show the
Sure.
people. So if you have somebody new looking to right now we all have something like this, a
Hmm.
camera. Go film yourself,
Right.
show them what you do, put a little demo collage of different things you're doing, martial arts or driving or
Hmm.
flying or falling or swimming, whatever it is you want to get into. Show them all the different things. Don't tell them because so many people, oh, I'm really good at fighting, oh, I'm really fast, I can fall. Great,
Hmm.
but talking, just show us, put it together very short, be professional, right? Send it, show the people it's okay. Just one email. Hey, I'm new. Here's some of my stuff. And then also network. This is one of the biggest things
Yes.
all around the world is network. Who you know, right? Because you can know a lot of stuff. If no one knows about you,
Hmm.
then no one's gonna hire you.
What do you consider your specialty?
My specialty would probably be in the realm of martial arts and falling and driving.
Hmm.
That would probably be in that realm, and also arms, which is guns. So rifles into pistols, handguns, that kind of military police kind of situations and scenes.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How would you like to, let's say, if you have the opportunity to uh, change something on the world of the stunts or actors, what would you like to do? Let's say you can talk straight to the directors or casting directors. Okay, what would you like to advise them? Okay, because this is another world, no?
Yes, yes, yes. And I love you understand that. I would probably say there's many things I would say, but one of the most important things is, and that's why there's in film, usually they have first unit and second unit.
Mm-hmm.
And second unit sometimes has second unit director,
Mm-hmm.
meaning if we are filming the dialogue, this is the first unit. The actors show up, the camera, the whole team, they know how to get the dialogue in a beautiful way. Looks great, the angles are great. But just because you do dialogue doesn't mean you understand the action. What's the best way for the
Exactly.
action, the hit, the fall, the height of a jump? the anticipation. Is very much like a dance, right? You could be a great photographer, but if you don't know the timing, you will miss them when they jump and miss them when they're landing or taking off. So that's probably one of the biggest things. If it's an action movie, I really from my heart usually want to have people, director and camera person, that are very familiar with action, because they know how to capture the moves because they're familiar with it.
And also the safety. Sometimes
Uh,
I think they had to care of that,
100
you know.
100%. That's a given. Any professional in the stunt world, this is their number one priority,
Even
is
even
safety. Whether
even
fall,
the easy things.
100%. 100%. And it's funny you mentioned easy. I have a book somewhere, I wrote a book where it's about zero to hero action for film. And one of the first pages, aside from safety, is the fact that people think stunts is only explosions, guns, Expendables, Marvel, John Wick. No, it could be a funny haha movie, a Christmas movie, Home Alone.
Yeah.
Look at Home Alone. There's all these falling down the stairs, the iron hit the head, all this kind. It's not an action movie, but there's so many stunts that happen because the traps the kid sets up for the guys, right? A Hallmark movie, the couple, maybe first date, they're skating on the ice, and whoop, one of the guys like falls on the butt. That's a stunt. You need somebody to make sure you're safe.
Exactly.
Right? But this is a misconception. When people hear stunts, they only expect like John Wick and Expendables and Marvel, right? Kumite, Bloodsport, that kind of vibe, but Cobra Kai, right? But that's the truth. So now it's nice to see that more and more and more people are becoming educated about stunts, about action. It's being more appreciated, and the safety is constantly being upgraded.
Then, knowing martial arts doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to work in the films.
Nope. Nope. Sometimes I teach classes on a weekly basis. And so many times, I work with martial artists that come in, and I want you to imagine for 30 years, 10 years, 20 years, you're taught, hit the target, hit the target, hit the target, don't miss the target, get the point, get the point. And then now for film, miss the target, miss the target. Don't hit it. Especially, some people, they're okay to take the hit. You arrange it and it could be okay, perfect. But sometimes you got to be careful because film, like we discussed earlier, is not just one take. That was actually something that happened on the Expendables. One of the guys, he's like, no, hit me. And no problem. No problem. He's used to it.
One, two.
No, but then there's a cut. And now this is one angle. Now they got to move the camera to the side, but his head's cut and bleeding. Makeup, editing, all that extra work now has to be done, right? So just because, and then also martial arts for film is sometimes a combination. For example, you're a boxer, maybe it's like bring your hands a little lower so we can see your face more, right? Or if you're doing like Muay Thai and your stance is different. No, but this is not a Muay Thai movie. Okay, so a lot of times, they do capoeira, for example, the Ginga. So it's like, no, but you're not a capoeirista in this. Don't do Ginga, right? So that's the thing, is sometimes the style, you can see the style is in their DNA, in their coding. And sometimes it's like, no, we don't want to see that. And they try, but you're like, no, I know this guy does Taekwondo because I see that style. It's Taekwondo. This is karate. This is Krav Maga, right? This is Aikido. So you could tell. So sometimes working with somebody that's, it's like you have to uninstall the information, then install what's good for film. So sometimes you work with people that are dancers or people that don't have any experience, and they are amazing to work with. Dancers are usually the best.
It happened to you, for example, the choreographer gives you a technique to apply and you don't trust that technique, and you can argue with that because you know that it's not fucking real,
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'll give you two stories, quick stories. One story was with a gun, and it was on a big show in 2012 episode. I think it was a second season, third season of the show Nikita, right? And we're supposed to be military sent out to capture Maggie Q. And I was like, there's no way the four men will come out like this. It's like one bullet, all four will be dead, right? But again, sometimes for film, you're not supposed to be that kind of training, perhaps. But what we wore. We were military people. I was like, that's not. You watch so many TV shows now with police, and you're like, this is a veteran cop. There's no way he would hold a gun like that, right? But that was that. The second time I really had to argue, and it really had to be changed, was same show. I'm driving a Hummer, so the Humvee, those old military ones. So this is the Humvee right here, and there's a big hole on the ground. And the guy is like, "Oh, we're just driving very fast, 10 Hummers chasing her." And I said, "I'm driving around, right?" He said, "No, no, no, right over. This is the Hummer can do it." I was like, I parked the car, came outside. I used my arms
Yeah.
and I went on the ground. Then I used, the hole is way wider. And I came up to the car. I just hugged the car. You see that? The car will fall into the hole.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. Drive to the hole and stop. And then the guys will use the rope to go into the hole."
Yes, things like this happen all the time. I
You
guess.
know what I mean? So stuff like that. Stuff like that. Sometimes, for example, there's a breakaway table. So the breakaway table, obviously, it has some breaks and material is different, so it can break really easy if
Yeah.
somebody is thrown into it,
Yeah.
right? So they used breakaway table for rehearsal. That's the only table they have.
And then
And it's broken already before the camera said action rolling. And now they bring a real table.
wow.
They brought a real table, not for me, but for somebody else. And they say, "Okay, you ready? Feel good?" And he touched it and he's like, "Oh, this is the real deal. This is a real table." Like, "No, it's okay, it's fine, same thing." And he's like, "Can you show?" He's telling the stunt coordinator, "Hey, can you show me one more time?" And he's like, "No, no, no, it's okay." And they changed the whole scene.
So, yes, yes, it had to happen like
You
this.
know what I mean? So it depends where you're working.
Exactly.
Sometimes they try and pull a fast one, but that's why safety is constantly getting better.
Well, what is next for you? What's coming? What you're working
Oh,
on now?
okay. So there's a few things that I'm really excited about. One of them is a buddy cop, kind of like Lethal Weapon meets Bad Boys meets Rush Hour,
Hmm.
and that's going to be coming up.
It's
And I'm
a
one of the lead
comedy.
actors on.
Comedy.
Uh, so it's a comedy action
Okay, okay,
and it's a series, so it's going to be about, I think, the first season, maybe 6 episodes.
okay.
Yep.
So you
The
have a part
second,
there that you have a
yeah,
dialogue
yeah.
part.
So I'm one of the leads.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's two leads, like the Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the guys, so I'm very happy about
Cool.
that one.
Very cool.
And then there's another one that's very similar to Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee mixed with Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Oh,
right? And I play one of the lead characters in that one as well. And there's like drama with.
yes, yeah.
I'm one of the leads, so there's drama. There's a girl involved. There's a fight involved, like kumite, that kind of. So with a plot twist in the end, which is pretty cool. I love plot twists because sometimes you watch a movie, it's just like one straight line. You're like, it's boring. I know what's gonna happen in the first 5 minutes, but I like those kind of twists in the end. And also, I'm directing two very, very cool projects. One of them about football,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them about it's a cognition institute. So it's a system that all the professional athletes and players and Formula One, even the military, use, where they measure everything down to a fraction of a second. So, for example, if a pass is coming, or if, you're a race car driver, it tells you the right eye is 0.01 compared to the left eye that's 0.32,
Well,
right? Yeah, yeah. So we're going to have different athletes, different professionals coming in, and we're going to see how they are. They go through the program. We put them back on the field, and we see how they improve.
very cool. Well, we'll keep posted with that. Where people can find you on different social
So
media.
they can, they can. I mean, majority of my stuff is Taz Garcia official, and that's my socials. Pretty much my Instagram, my Facebook, and my TikTok as well, my YouTube. And my website is just tazitogarcia.com. Very easy
Excellent.
to remember. And of course, if you Google a bunch of my this some ugly face maker will pop up as well.
Good
Yeah, but I mean, anytime anyone wants to reach out, say hello, ask questions. They're up and coming filmmakers, actors, stunt performers. I'm always more than happy to connect with them and maybe be a little bit of that light that they need for their journey.
I really appreciate that you take this time. We've been trying to match, because also we have a little bit not much different, but we have maybe an hour now. But
Yeah, yeah.
we know we are busy, with this world of
Busy is good. Busy is
filming
good.
and training. So it's kind of crazy in this side too. But I'm really happy that you are now in this podcast. And actually, you are the first that I interview. So it is an honor for me to have you.
It's an honor. It's an honor for having me. It's really, really cool. Let's do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, we will. So let's see how it goes, and we will invite people to follow you and check on your YouTube channel, because I know you have really cool stuff there to follow, and of course, check on you in different movies. So we will chat now a little bit after, but I want to close this maybe with a message from you to the actors, to the stands, to the world.
Okay, I will say follow your dreams, and no matter what you do, listen to that little voice in yourself, and remember your why. Anytime, remember your why.
Taz García con nosotros esta semana en nuestro podcast.